Welcome back to the Crypto Moses channel. Before we get started, do me a favor and click that subscribe button just so you never miss an XRP update. It's one of my favorite assets, so I'm so damn excited to make this video today. I've got some data points. We're going to look at the charts themselves, and we're going to talk about some of the price predictions that I do believe XRP has the potential to do. And then most importantly, we're going to talk about the meeting that has occurred yesterday, which is some of this fundamental news that should be beneficial for the long run. So let's get right into it today. So first thing to know, you guys, XRP has officially landed a spot in the US digital asset stockpile, right along Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, and Cardano. But I just want to be real. Do we actually think XRP belongs there? Okay, so we know Bitcoin is the gold standard of decentralization. Ethereum is the backbone of Web3. Solana brings speed and scalability. And then there's XRP. And it's kind of, in my opinion, the most important one because it's a token designed for banks, not necessarily us, the people. So why is XRP included in the US reserve alongside some of these assets that are built for decentralization? Is this actually going to be a massive win for us long-term XRP holders and intraday XRP traders, or is this just another strategic move by the government? So I'm going to break it all down. I do want to point out, I'm not a financial advisor. I've never been one, but I am a crypto nerd. I love researching these assets, their strategies, and making trades on them consistently. So you should also do your own research as everyone's in a different position. But let's dive in. Let's look at some of these stats. So first thing to think about, XRP's purpose, right? XRP is a token that's built for banks. Okay, and unlike Bitcoin and Ethereum, XRP was not meant to be a decentralized store of value. Its primary function is actually in international banking transactions. Okay, Ripple Labs is what designed XRP as a bridge currency to make cross-border payments seamless for what? Financial institutions. Okay, I know it sounds great, but there's a catch. The banks who are using RippleNet don't actually need to hold the XRP. They can basically leverage Ripple's technology without ever even touching the token. Or here's the multi-million-dollar question. If banks don't necessarily need to hold XRP, does it have real-world demand? And then if the US government is stockpiling it, is it about the technology or is there a bigger agenda at play? Okay, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but these are some things that we should be asking ourselves and trying to answer here over time. Okay, now another thing to think about is XRP in a Web3 is kind of a weak contender. Okay, I know this sounds grim, but I want to go through all the stats and we'll go through then the price prediction. All right, now I want to compare XRP to Ethereum and Solana. These are two projects that are driving Web3 innovation. XRP's DeFi ecosystem is actually non-existent. NFTs, it's supported, but nowhere near Ethereum or Solana levels. So its ecosystem is basically mostly DEX tokens, meme coins, and stable coins. So it's not actually a groundbreaking DeFi project. But here's the issue. Bitcoin is digital gold. Ethereum powers Web3, and then Solana and Cardano are basically scaling applications. But XRP, its value is still tied to their banking tech, which doesn't, again, require even somebody holding XRP, which to me leads to a bigger problem, which would be centralization. Now, what is the centralization problem? Is XRP too controlled? Is that why the government's really interested in it? Now, one of the biggest criticisms of XRP is who really controls it. So unlike Bitcoin, XRP doesn't use mining or staking. Instead, it runs on a permissioned system called a unique node list. Okay, transactions are only a select group of validators, and those are only approved by Ripple, and that's the only place that can verify the transaction. And then there's this, Ripple Labs actually holds 55% of the total XRP supply. That does raise some serious concerns to me about market manipulation, token dumping, and centralization. But then we even see things like Bitcoin supporter James Loop. He had mentioned that there's Bitcoin and then there's crypto, then there's Ripple. Ripple explicitly wants to power CBDCs. They have always been focused on servicing banks. So if the US crypto reserve is meant to hold decentralized assets, does XRP actually belong there? Or is this just another step towards government-backed digital currencies, which could actually be the case? And some people might not see that as a bad thing. Okay, now regardless of where you stand, XRP's inclusion in the US crypto reserve is a fat, amazing deal. In the short term, it legitimizes XRP and could easily boost investor confidence. But in the long term, centralization concerns and weak Web3 adoption still remain a bit of an issue. In the 24-hour change, we are up about 6%. And currently the market cap is 144.6 billion. Trading volume in the last 24 hours is $10 billion. And we still have about 58.1 billion XRP in circulation. But the real question, does XRP's utility justify its place in the US crypto stockpile? Or is this just another centralized asset disguised as a crypto? I do want to hear your thoughts on that. So please comment them below. I do want to open the charts here just so we can kind of get a broad look at XRP and then maybe even pull it back. Okay, so we're going to use this one here. And what we have for XRP, again, we want to hide all these and we really want to zoom out and kind of see what we're looking like for in a week perspective, right? And you guys, if you saw the previous video, we saw a bit of a deep analysis into the SHIB chart, and it does not look like this, right? It does not actually, I can't draw it. It does not break new all-time highs, but look, this one does. So XRP is one of the only tokens in this last mini bull cycle that has completely shattered through its previous resistance. So you guys, that means we do have the potential to even go back up to $4.50, $5. We haven't beaten those numbers, but I do think we have the potential, specifically because we did not make another lower high. Where if we look at things like Ethereum, we did here, lower, and now we're finally breaking that structure. It's not, oh, no, you could count this as a double top. This is not a break of structure. This is actually a double top, which is not a great pattern to see, but XRP does not create that. XRP actually creates a new higher high. So in my opinion, technical analysis wise, it has a huge potential to go back up. Now we're going to look at the fundamentals and how recent developments are impacting XRP and, in a sense, the whole crypto market, right? So first, breaking news, the US Securities and Exchange Commission has officially dropped its lawsuit against Ripple Labs, ending this damn legal battle that's basically lasted for 4 years. So the CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, announced the significant development yesterday, and it marked a huge victory for the company and, in a sense, the broader crypto industry. Now, how does this impact XRP? One, we saw the price surge, right? And it immediately surged by 13%, and it got up to like $2.56 yesterday. And then we saw a big market confidence. The dismissal of this lawsuit removes all of these regulatory overhang on us, and it potentially is going to keep boosting regular investors to have confidence within XRP and all digital assets, right? Then we saw the Federal Reserve's recent policy decision. Okay, now the Federal Open Market Commission, FOMC meeting occurred yesterday. And they announced it would maintain current interest rates, citing concerns over the slowing economic growth and right now the rising inflation. And also the central bank revised its economic projections and its forecasting. What they say is that a decrease from 1.7% for 2025 is down from the previous 2.1%. So it's kind of good. Well, it's kind of bad for economic growth. Inflation has seen an increase about to 2.7%, up from its previous projection of 2.5. Stable interest rates and concerns about maybe having financial issues are going to drive more people into crypto. And then inflation hedge, right? So cryptocurrencies are often viewed as a hedge against inflation. So we might see a lot more increased interest as inflation projections rise. Another thing you guys should be always considering doing if you're a big Ripple fan and actually want to day trade Ripple is I've got my link below. For Ripple, you can actually 500x it. I don't always like the 500x on Ripple. It moves too fast and it's too volatile. Like, you guys, let's look at this 5-minute time frame. In the past 1 hour and 30 minutes, Ripple has moved 1.86%. With BTCC, let's say I 100x a $100 margin position, I would have made in 1 hour and a half $186. Oh, another cool thing is I can then take it to 200x and add a 200x profit on that. That would be $386 in literally an hour and 25 minutes made off of $100. That's really why I love leverage trading. That's actually why I use the hell out of BTCC. So I'll leave the link below. Let me know if you guys want a training video on it. I try to make it as simple as possible. And again, you can do up to 500x leverage. Just be cautious with that. You do want to have a stop loss and be precise. It's just really important, especially if you're new to leverage trading. But before you go, do me one favor, click that subscribe button and let's keep watching the XRP chart. Today's going to be a volatile day, so hopefully you guys get some day trades in. As always, stay informed, stay prepared, and most important, stay ahead. Peace out, everyone.